Hi everyone, Marianne Cowan here from Pinery Paper Crafts. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live right now from Ottawa, Canada, or you may be watching the replay on YouTube or on Facebook. So thank you for joining me today. I was in my craft room creating some cards for my upcoming class. I have a class series of 5 classes, and I'm just making sure that my sound is on. So I have a series of 5 classes, and this particular suite will be in class 4, Traditions of Christmas. We've already done Winter Meadow, Gold and Green. The next one is September 13th, which is Peaceful Garden, which is a beautiful series of papers. But today I was playing around with Traditions of Christmas, so I thought I would share with you what I was working on. So, exciting news today in the Stampin' Up! World. The mini catalog, September to December, goes live today. September 3rd is when I'm recording this. And there are also a release of 2 new kits as well as many beautiful online exclusives. But the products we're working on today are part of the Traditions of Christmas suite. It's a beautiful suite of products and very traditional with poinsettias and gold and greens. And they've also added some Pool Party, which is an unusual Christmas color, but it really works, and also Secret Sea. So here are the products included in the suite. So there are sentiments and label dies. Really, really pretty shapes. And then Christmas greenery and die cuts for that. This embossing folder, which is Traditional Wreath 3D embossing folder. And I'll show you the gems and the paper. Paper is really pretty. And then there's also further on in the catalog, if you love to do scrapbooking, there are also some scrapbook layouts and some different sentiment or different stamp set that coordinates well with scrapbooking. And there's also some 2-tone paper that coordinates with this designer series paper, as well as a sticker sheet, which is always fun to use. So the card I'm making today was inspired by Celine Kempton, Create with Celine. So I'm not taking credit for this original design, but I did change it up a little bit as I was playing with hers. And that's why people post things on YouTube and Facebook, to inspire you to get into your craft room and design something yourself. So that's exactly what I've done. But before I do, let me show you some of the products we'll be working with today. So the paper is called Traditions of Christmas. It's 12 by 12. It's a specialty paper as it has gold foiling on one side. So I'm just going to walk you through the different sides of the paper. So it also includes beautiful pink in the poinsettias, some people say, and then cherry cobbler and real red. Both reds are included. There's another beautiful one. There's that secret sky. That's probably cloud cover, actually. Or maybe it's Pool Party. Let me see if it says Pool Party. Just beautiful with the gold on it. And then a more traditional one. So clearly one side is great for Christmas cards, but the other side you could use for long past Christmas when you're doing your Christmas. This coordinates with the die. In the die set, I don't have that, but it does coordinate. And then a beautiful stripe. Old Olive is the green that coordinates with it. And then again, just a beautiful, and I do believe the die in the dies might cut out this one, but I'm not 100% sure. Secret Sea, is that what it is? I always say that name wrong. Secret Sea. So past Christmas, this would be a great masculine. Look how nice these two coordinate. Beautiful. So that's that one. And then another Secret Sea. And then this is the one we're using today, and I'm pretty sure I'll be finished using the whole thing by the end of the day. And then a beautiful old olive. So Traditions of Christmas, this is how I like to store my paper. I always put the label here because I stand them up in holders. And then I only did this for the first time today. I cut out the little saying on the back because it has the number if I want to reorder, and it also has the coordinating colors. Usually I just left it in the back, but I thought I would try that and see if I like that better. We're also using All Season Velvet, and All Season Velvet just says the colors are red, green, and white. And I'll show you the red, how it matches these reds, and I would say that the green is more of a garden green, but a little bit deeper. It's a beautiful, beautiful Christmas green. These are very traditional, and velvet is very traditional as well. So beautiful. So I'm going to show you the one that Celine did. Mine is a little bit different. Hers was landscape, mine is portrait, because I realized after I cut it that there is really a right and a wrong way to use this. Oh, I'll show you some of the other things from the suite. Traditional sparkling sequins. Very beautiful and nice and flat, because Christmas cards we tend to mail, and so it's nice to have them flat. And then I'm also using the Greetings for You Mix and Match Ephemera Pack, and there's a bunch of those, but I'm using this one, which is gold and white. And I don't know if you know, but on the back you can actually peel and stick these. So some people didn't know that. And there are lots of different sentiments. It's going to be really hard. Once you start pulling them apart, they all fall apart. And then we have Merry Christmas, 'Tis the Season, a really large joy. I'll put these in a case, although it's easier to see them when they're like this. Happy Christmas, Merry and Bright. Just lots of great sayings. So we're going to use those today. Now, Celine in her card used Traditional Wreath 3D Embossing Folder, which I didn't have and I didn't think I needed, and now it's in my cart. So I am using the Peaceful Greenery, which is part of the Peaceful Garden suite of products, because I do have that. We're also using Everyday Arches. I can't tell you how often I use these, a lot. And another one that I've used quite a bit is Label Me Grateful. And it is has a coordinating stamp set, but I've used these little sprigs so often. And actually, as I look at this one kind of looks like a poinsettia. Huh, I'm gonna have to try that. And then also with that suite of products is Traditional Labels, Sentiments, and Dies. And these dies are beautiful. But like I said, we're gonna use the ephemera pack today. So here is the one that Celine, it's a kind of the same. She didn't have the sprigs, and she used the beautiful sentiment, or the beautiful Traditions of Christmas die. But mostly it's the same, and except hers is landscape as opposed to portrait. So here's my little interpretation of it. But then after I was playing with it, I thought, oh, I wonder how it would look using the arch dies, which are on and off back order. So here's that red velvet, and just so you can see the coordination of these colors, this is Cherry Cobbler and this is Real Red. So it's, I'd say more Cherry Cobbler, but it's even deeper red than Cherry Cobbler. Whatever you call it, it's beautiful. So I'm going to show you two different ways I've used it, I think. Oh yeah, this was just my sample. Okay, so first of all, we have a little strip, because when you cut your paper, depending on what size you cut it, you typically have a little strip at the bottom, and this paper does have a right side up. So this is the right side up. Oh, I better fold this first so I can make sure it's lined up properly. So the base, Cherry Cobbler. And this little strip, I think, well, it looks like an inch to me. So it was just left over on the bottom once I did my die cutting. So there we have that. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Embossed with the, what did I say? Peaceful Greenery die. But the one that Celine used was Traditional Wreath 3D embossing folder, and it's really pretty. So as I said, it is now in my cart. Okay, now we have gold foil, and just pick whichever size you want. I wanted to make sure it covered this, so I've got that. And I never use a gold or silver base without cutting something else out of it. So I cut a whole bunch of these, and again, these were from the Label Me Grateful. They're just a perfect sprig. So even if I don't know what I'm going to use them for, I will cut them out. I will not waste all that beautiful gold paper. So let's put this together. And then obviously this arch is just one size down. And I'm going to flip it over. I don't want to smudge up the gold. I am going to pop this up with dimensionals. Now, oh yes. So I have a strip here that's 4 inches, and I want to put it, I think, around there. Let me check. Yes. Celine used ribbon on hers. I'm using velvet. It's probably a little higher than I wanted, but that's okay. All right. Just use some of these edges. Do you use the edges of your dies? Or your dies? These are not dies. The edges are perfect. Has anyone else started making Christmas cards? As I said, I have a Christmas card series going right now, and that's a lot of dimensionals, but so this is going to be the suite that we use for class number 4. And in my classes, we make 10 cards, 5 designs, 2 of each. You can check out my website, mariannecowan.com. And I can only ship the classes in Canada. All right, so then I did a cherry cobbler because it was on the bottom, and then a gold. So I want them kind of angled. So I'm going to put the cherry cobbler one first, and it's just a little dab. Too much and it will show through. There's that beautiful poinsettia. Don't really want to hide that. And then we'll do the gold one. When you're using white glue with the gold, you don't want to get it on the front. It does make a smudge mark. So I'm being careful. And I want them a little bit offset, not quite the same height. And then I have my Season's Greetings from the Ephemera pack. And I could do it straight on, but I think I want to pop it up. You can see I could just peel it off, but I think I don't want to do that. Oopsie. That's so pretty. Now we do have these little sparkle things, but to be honest, I think we have enough going on the card that we don't need any more sparkle. All right, so that's my second card. First one looks more like Celine's. And then I'm just going to show you one more where I use the velvet in a different way. It's not really that different, but I will show you just so you get more ideas. So we'll do the inside. After I fold it, I will have the instructions and dimensions for this card on my blog later today. And today is September 3rd. All right, so here again we have our embossed piece. You might have in your stash also an embossing folder. I think it was from a couple of Christmases ago that had some Christmassy type stuff on it. Okay, so we're going to put this on. Now for this one I couldn't decide which I liked better, so I just did one of each. So I'm just doing these quickly because this is exactly the same as the last one. Except for this one, I cut it a lot smaller and we're going to put it in here. But we're still going to pop this up. Maybe not with quite so many dimensionals. Just grab a couple more. All right. So I do encourage you to check out the new catalog and the new online exclusives. There are some really pretty things. So these would be typically cards that you would probably make in the fall. So now that's going to go there. And for this one, I chose Merry Christmas because it fits right on there. Now I can't remember if I was going to say, I can't remember if I wanted to tuck this under or put it on top, but I'm going to put it on top and hope that it stays. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a glue dot down here because it gives it a little bit of height if I roll it, but a dimensional would be too much. So I'm just going to take my glue dot and roll it. And put it down here. So it gives it a bit of height because the ribbon is a little bit high. I'm just going to do 2 of those. There's the second one. All right, let's see how that's going to work. Now, of course, I have that ribbon smack in the middle of a poinsettia. Okay, I should have put the glue dot up here, not down here. Duh. Let me try that again. All right, hopefully I didn't wreck it. Okay, that looks good. And again, I could peel this off and just put it on, but I want to pop it up. So again, I'm just going to use a little bit of edge. So it gives you options with the ephemera pack. And there, I like how this one, it's a bit small, but I like because it stays inside the ribbon. Okay, so there's my second card. Again, inspired by my friend Celine Kempton, and I will link to her YouTube channel below. So here are my 3 cards. Do you have a favorite? Getting all these little bits out of the way. And just going to leave these here so you can see what they look like. So the velvet paper, definitely a must if you're making Christmas cards, especially if you're using this set of products. So let's just make sure that you can see them. All right, do you have a favorite? I think they're all pretty because the paper really does all the work. With the Stampin' Up's Designer Series paper, I find that the paper does a lot of the heavy lifting when you're designing cards. And if you can just find a way to showcase the beautiful papers, then card making is quite simple. All right, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have time to spend in your craft room today, and I will be posting the pictures and instructions for these cards on my blog, mariannecowan.com, later today. Thanks and have a great day.